Hello everybody, Signesk111 here, and welcome back to more Not For Broadcast. Support neither run. I don't really have a whole lot to say in this intro sequence, except, well, prepare for a lot of pixels in this next coming broadcast's sports board section. If you haven't seen it yet, you'll see it. You'll see what I mean. Anyway, I'll see you on the next day. And it sounds like the game is finally ready. Like I've said earlier in the series, I do apologize for all of the visual or audio bugs or glitches that may occur, as my computer is not quite up to par with this game's standards, so to speak. But here we very well are, on day 15, a late night. Our current wealth is still broke-ass poor, unfortunately. You arrive at home after another long shift to find a note waiting for you on the countertop. You recognize Sam's hurried scrawl. Chris has been evicted for not paying rent. Because I didn't give Chris my passport. Yes, I very well know where this is headed. Sam's gone to pick up Chris's stuff from the street. Don't wait up, underlined twice. So yeah, it's my fault. You sulkily press play on the cheap horror film you were going to watch together. It used to absolutely terrify you as a kid, but always makes the two of you laugh. It's not the same without Sam, but you still chuckle to yourself occasionally. Just as you get to the good bit, the part where Candy decides to investigate alone, your 14-year-old son interrupts. He wants to go to a friend's house. He looks at you in a way only a child can, pleading but somehow defiant. Man, I can tell you that I've seen all of that horrifying imagery in episode 3, where Charlie, you know what, if you don't let him join the Go-Getters. So I'm gonna say, nah. Charlie's voice gets louder and louder as he sees you're not going to change your mind. You pretend that it's for my own good, but really you just want to be left alone. I effing hate you. As this is, if I remember correctly, the same thing as the advanced run. He hesitates. He knows he's gone too far, but in his rage he can't bring himself to back down. Before you can open your mouth, he storms up the stairs and slams his door. I'll give him some space. In the morning, you knock on your son's door. There's no reply. Going in, you see his bed is empty and the window is wide open. Cheeky little. When Charlie comes home that night, you ground him until further notice. And of course, he has to accept that there are consequences to his actions. Did I choose that already? I don't really know. But whatever. We're moving on with the game. Day 48, a tight Christmas. You can't help but crack a smile as you look around the table. Or erode the table. Why didn't I notice that before? Anyways. The snow has settled on the grass outside. The kids are pulling a cracker while your elderly mother tries to keep her eyes open. You did always have a soft spot for Christmas. You're sitting at the head of the table now. Your dad's place. Because my dad's dead. My character in game, at least. It's been a tense afternoon. Everyone can feel it. It's the first time since you've seen Chris. It's the first time you've seen Chris since you refused to part with your passport. It's a big change for Sam. The two siblings used to be inseparable. Well, they're literally inseparable now. The clatter of cutlery is all that can be heard as Chris stares pointedly at you. You having a nice Christmas, Grandma? Mother stares vacantly out the window at you, confused. She comes back to herself with a start of recognition. Yes, thank you, Alex. It's lovely, she murmurs. Clatter of cutlery. You stand and raise your glass. Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm glad we're all here. There are murmurs of cheers and much clinking of glasses. Chris doesn't move. Yeah, we're all here. No thanks to you. Chris, sighs Sam. Come on now. It's Christmas. Can't we put that behind us? Wasn't talking to you. Chris stands, drunkenly. What did you say? Comes the hissed response. Enough. Both of you. Sam insists. I don't think I've seen this before. Have I? Sorry. Did I stutter? Ooh. Chris launches himself at you across the table, upsetting a meager plate of potatoes which smashes on the hard floor. You're taken aback as Chris's fist swings and catches you in the temple. Your mother shrieks as blood bursts from above your eye. You scramble towards Chris before Sam screams, "Enough!" Oh, damn. You haven't heard Sam's raised voice for a very long time, and it seems to have worked. The room is still now, and silent, but for your panting and the whimpering of your poor mother. Without another word, Chris stalks from the room. Your children can't bring themselves to look at you as you sit back down at the head of the table. Oh. And that's just it? I got an achievement called Holly Jolly Christmas. And it apparently involved that brawl I had with Chris just now. You look up to see Charlie nudging his sister. What about your holiday? Weren't you going to ask for... Suzie interrupts him. So Susie's not going to ask for a holiday vacation? I'm completely in shock right now. I mean, I wanted Susie's vacation to happen, but with that... I have never seen that happen before. I'm in absolute shock right now. But hopefully this day, a welcome windfall, will make it worth it. You're leafing through the pile of accumulated posts. Each new bill pulls on your gut like a lead weight until a flash of blue makes you pause. Recognizing the teal Advance logo on the envelope, you tear it open. Dear Winston residents, thank you for sending us your passports for approval. We can now confirm their receipt and validation for the new Assets and Wealth Redemption Scheme. Hopefully this will make the last month of arguments with Sam worth it. As such, it is our pleasure to enclose a check with which we hope you will see as a symbol, not only of our gratitude to you, but of our unwavering commitment to creating a society free of inequality. The throbbing of your fresh, speed-induced paper cut is the only reason you can believe you're awake. A check. A sizable one at that. And I get richer. To what? I don't know. Day 72, a long weekend. Why does the zip on this damn case never close? It's your anniversary. Every year you and Sam go away for the weekend, usually camping. You're not made of money. You've been looking forward to it for ages. Finally getting some time alone together where you can forget about the noise of life. No kids, no work. Just a bit of romance and some peace and quiet. Zip finally gives up the battle and you drag the bulging suitcase down the stairs. But the answering machine has to say, "Good evening, Alex. This is Mr. Bozeman. I'm calling to inform you that you will be required to work this weekend and my heart sinks. Some information has come to light concerning the rising tensions between our nation and foreign powers, and the National Nightly News team will be working around the clock to ensure we break the story first. Needless to say, I will expect your attendance tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. sharp. Have a pleasant evening, Alex." Shock turns to annoyance and then fury. What am I gonna tell Sam? Well, she comes downstairs, brimming with excitement. Kissing you, they grab the car keys from the dish and start to load your bags into the back. Well, after what happened this past Christmas, oh my God. I'm gonna ignore the message. Delete the message. What was that? Nothing important. I sure as hell I'm gonna pay for it on Monday. That's for sure. Day 75, an unwelcome return. When you get to work Monday morning, you get some sour looks from your exhausted colleagues. A note sits waiting for you. The immaculate script is blood red. I am very disappointed, Winston. Was it worth it? Oh geez, I hope it was. Also, I saw that my previous wealth was holiday time, but that has since gone down to holiday time. What? Maybe that's wrong. I don't know. Your son Charlie hovers at your elbow as you read. Do you find yourself striving to achieve? Are you an active member of the team? Do you like reaping the benefits of cooperation? Join the Advanced Go-Getters today. Forwards, together. This doesn't sound like the youth club he told you about. Charlie grabs the flyer from you and thrusts the form into your hand. So I can walk there straight from school and Ben's sister can drop us home after, so you won't have to do anything. Tough choice, tough choice. If I don't sign the form, then that means Charlie might be a part of Disrupt. But then there would be something else that you would get to see here that I haven't shown you yet. I'm gonna refuse to sign the form. Oh, a youth club too far. It looks like I'm gonna get that day I just told you about. Day 101, a free ticket. Alan James is right in front of you. I don't think so. This guy's a nut job. Well, he would eventually be part of Disrupt, if you've seen my Disrupt run. Day 106, a domestic dilemma. It's one of your rare evenings in, and strangely, Charlie still isn't back from school. You knock on his bedroom door to see if he snuck upstairs without you noticing. No answer. Pushing the door open, you find a letter on his bed. Dear Charles, thank you for returning your parental permission form. Sam Winston has given permission for you to join the positive and proactive team that is the Advanced Go-Getters. We look forward to you attending your first meeting. You'll be out and getting him in no time. Is this unbelievable or what? I know it is. and the next day should be a profitable partnership. After a particularly long day at work, you arrive home to find the post sorted into piles, as Sam has taken to doing recently. Most of it is the usual rubbish, but a letter with the increasingly familiar Advance logo and "Urgent! Respond immediately!" plastered on the front in a correspondingly urgent red font grabs your attention. Let's best get it over with. Well, I've read this twice already. I've done Eye of the Beholder and Neil Steele's Limited, so let's mix it up and go to Pleasure Corp. And we're well off. Seems even Advance can't defeat the quagmire of governmental bureaucracy. Cool. Day 120? A teenage rebellion. Ooh, this is something I haven't seen before. Stepping out of my old car in silence. Sam slams the door and you wince, hoping the door won't come off its hinges. You don't say anything. Now's not the time. As you approach the front desk, you feel physically sick. The police officer asks you to wait. Eventually, after what seems like an eternity, your daughter is brought out by an officer with a kind face. She's a good kid, but if we pick her up for graffiti again, we will have to charge her. You nod and apologize on Susie's behalf as Sam hugs your shell-shocked daughter. As you shake her hand, the officer lowers her voice. Keep her away from that boy and I think she'll be fine. In the car, you attempt to broach the subject, but Suzie refuses to say a word. After a while, you give up your questions about who this boy might be and just drive. Hours later, you stare at the ceiling, worrying. The stillness in the bedroom is the only sign that Sam is also wide awake. Who is Suzie hanging out with, and why is she acting out? Neither of us are going to sleep tonight after that. And that means we're very advanced. But I'm not going to support either. Either that or disrupt. Well, as this next broadcast loads, I will see you when it does. Just had to get that quick fact into your head before this next broadcast were to start. Which it is now. Day 153, The Tempest. And yeah. Oh, I can turn left now while the phone's ringing.
Good evening, Alex. It's Bozeman here, your boss. While you're powering up and getting the adverts loaded, I thought I should just tell you that we've had one of those public information films from the government, and it's mandatory that you play it. You still have a free choice for the other two, so read those tape labels carefully, but make sure you play the
Transition.
advert, preferably at the second break.
Yeah.
That's the lot. Have a great show.
I'm just gonna do this, this, and this. That's the lot.
Why are all men such pricks? Yeah, well, apparently he has a complicated relationship. Sorry, are you saying...
Once again, apologies for any visual or audio glitches that I encounter during any of these playthroughs.
Everybody, like I said, all of you. Did your personality actually slip out the pricks? Going in 5, 4,
Yeah.
3.
Good evening. I'm Jeremy Dawson.
And I'm Megan Wolf. Our main stories tonight.
Uncooperative, a mysterious symbol has appeared overnight on thousands of buildings throughout the capital.
Tonight, in an exclusive live interview with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, I'll be asking what this mysterious symbol might mean.
Critics have been quick to dismiss graffiti as a publicity stunt, or an act of frustration by a tiny, disorganized group of those who will never, under any circumstances, be content.
Because I'm opposing Disrupt.
Trapped in Dante's taint
And
for more than a
Advance.
month now, embittered doctors
It's tempting to do our side since I've done arms race already, but I still want to show you something real quick in arms race. Nah, I'll do our side.
To avoid escalating conflict, the two rival leaders are discussing partitioning.
Don't want to make you think that I'm doing something I've already done.
Bearing their opinions, the formerly rich are fighting back with a naked protest.
Our very own Robin Short was on hand earlier today when this new protest group first presented themselves.
Spokesman Wentworth Somerset Bentley said today, "They've had the shirts off our backs. They might as well have the rest of it too." And while it's easy to laugh, perhaps we should all just be pondering how desperate the formerly rich are to regain their power.
Table for two. Johnny Hampson
Good.
and Tiffany Lamore were spotted having a private moment.
Kev did this already.
Popular couple have certainly been on a
So now it's time for me to do test results.
last year. And this image is sure to place them firmly back in the tabloids.
Johnny's secretive hospital visits have had the rumour mill churning. I think it's safe to say that they're not looking at his school report.
Is his once celebrated role model?
Yeah, school report, they are not looking at.
Radical ideas. In an attempt to put the Mr. Snugglehugs disaster behind them, Remington's Fist CEO Sophia Remington today announced a surprising new project that already has the markets raising an eyebrow.
Known for taking risks and bold strategies, could the adventurous
moves.
down a dark alley, or taking it to a new level of success?
We understand the mobile orientation operational.
Just had to make that snap decision as the timer was beeping faster.
Based around the construction of a major tunnel through the center of the Earth. Sophia Remington claims it will make traveling from one side of the world to the other the matter of an afternoon. Geologists are concerned about the implications of digging a hole through the planet, while flat earthers claim it should be quite easy.
With that exclusive Prime Minister...
We'll see about that.
And our very own Patrick Bannon coming to you live from the first annual Sports Board final.
You won't want to miss a second of tonight's National Nightly News.
Good. And interference time. Ooh, it's increasing in height. Okay, well, so far, this is proving to be a bit easier for me, given how well I'm handling this, surprisingly.
First tonight, after the Christmas horror caused by Mr. Snugglehugs, we have an exclusive interview with one of the victims.
Poor 7-year-old Timmy Tadlock, like so many of those affected by the Christmas bloodbath, has spent the last 3 months undergoing a series of reconstructive facial surgeries.
Last week, joyfully, he spoke for the first time since the tragedy. Tonight, he talks to us.
Before we go to the interview, however, this station would like to issue a full and frank apology for any part we may have played in the tragedy. We should never have...
This interview is going to be where the interference is going to go more haywire than usual. Usual being what it would be on normal difficulty, I'd guess.
In future, we will do better.
Now it's over to Robin Short at the Tadlock family home. Robin?
Thank you, Megan. I'm here with Mr. and Mrs.
Still interested in getting their reactions on
Thanks for spending time with us.
the Tadlocks as Robin interviews Timothy.
I mean, whose idea was this anyway?
It's all right. It wasn't your fault. As you can see, Megan, there's still a few open wounds here. I'll tread carefully. I'm going to speak to Timmy now. Hello,
Okay.
Timmy. Can you see me? Mummy, who's that lady?
Oh, no, 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 no.
Television, Timothy. She's going to ask you a few questions.
You be careful now, it upsets them to remember.
Don't worry, Mrs. Tadlock. I wasn't the youngest ever editor of the Swinstead Middle School Inquirer for no reason. So, Timmy, can you tell us what happened to you? You had just unwrapped Mr. Snugglehugs, hadn't you? Was he under the tree?
Yes, I could smell him already. He smelled like love.
Ah, yes. That'll be the fur. It's scented with her.
I was so excited. I ran up to my room and gave him a big hug. He was so soft and warm, like our cat, before he got in the way of Daddy's Porsche.
Jolly cat, a death wish.
And what did Mr. Snugglehugs say to you?
blinked his real action eyes and said you're my very best friend. But I sure wish Mrs. Snubblehouse was here, and she can't be for just $89.99. And then it's the general error. What's he want?
And is that when he burst?
Well, that can't be it for the interference, really.
He exploded.
Still got more to do there.
Am I right in saying that one of his real action eyes is now permanently embedded in your cheek?
Yes. When I took him in the night,
Yeah, figured.
with bandages. I know it's under there. Staring at me.
Yeah, some of the other children have started calling him Timmy Three Eyes. And then with his glasses, that's 5.
It's too many eyes, Robin.
And what's the last thing you remember before the darkness overtook you?
Going down.
With his one eye and
Oh gosh.
It sounds very traumatic. You have nightmares.
So, right, that's quite enough of you two coming in here with your camera, but I make a buck out of our suffering. I won't have it.
Mr. Tadlock, just a couple more questions. Timmy, do you think you will ever be what we can
No,
call
you've had your
normal
questions.
again?
And now do. Oh, you've made him cry with all 3 of his eyes.
Calm down, you're excited. Do you think your parents will ever really love you again?
Right, that's it. Enough.
I'm angry, Mr. Tadlock. So there you have it, Megan. Just one of the many victims of an incredible tragedy that has shaped our nation.
Pretty sure Alex is gonna feel
Thank you, Robin. Harrowing stuff.
pretty bad for airing that ad.
Sophia Remington in the coming days and months, I'd wager.
Once again,
How will she
just like in the advance run.
So, Jeremy, what are the warning signs consumers should look out for when they're spotting a dangerous toy?
Well, Megan, experts advise to always check for the new advanced mark, which guarantee a level of safety and quality.
Yeah, can we just get a close-up on camera 3 here? So if we take a look at this National Nightly News mug, you should see the mark just on the base of it there.
In the wake of the scandal, the government were praised for their swift response in bringing in this set of stringent checks on new products.
It certainly is good to know that someone's watching out for our families. When we come back, our very own Patrick Bannon will be live from the Sports Board Finals. Stick around, you won't want to miss it.
We'll be back after these messages.
1 minute back. Oh, sorry, I'm bursting.
From the iconic A2 stainless steel posi drive wood screw.
So that's the ad.
It's a slotted countersunk screw.
Well, the first of it at least.
Into a world of sticky fixings. Start collecting today and celebrate the nation's most well-known and best-loved pieces of hardware with your copy.
And I got an A+.
We're getting reports in that naked protesters might try and spoil the sports board finals by waving their fleshy bits about. Try and make sure you don't broadcast it. It's 6 p.m. for God's sake. No one wants to see fannies on the news. Bozeman out.
3mm finishing pin. Oh, the cast iron hexagonal fixing screw, and many more. Every week, alongside your ironmongery, you'll get this in-depth companion magazine, charting the highs and lows of DIY history. From the Canterbury nut shortage to the socket screw riots of 29. This detailed guide will bring to life some of your favourite metalworking moments. Start your collection today, and we'll send you the first 8 editions with no postage or packing. That's right, no postage, no packing. Plus, you'll also receive this exclusive...
Pretty unsafe, in my opinion.
So, what are you waiting for?
Gotta have postage and packaging for quite a few stuff, I'd imagine.
The only complete collection of real, authentic, genuine reproduction screw replicas. Collection is for display purposes only. The items are ornamental replicas and not for use with metal masonry or any other physical
Let's
surface.
see us try. It's good for the ratings.
5, 4, 3.
And here we go.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolf. Coming up later, we'll be speaking to the Prime Ministers about their exciting new healthcare facilities, transition centres.
Nice to see they care.
You're absolutely right, Jeremy. But first, we're going now to our own Patrick Bannon, who's reporting live from the finals of the new game that's gripping the nation, Sports Board. Patrick?
That's right, Megan. You joined me live here for the final of the first annual Sports Board Championship.
And, as Bozeman said, there are going to be naked protesters here. So you'll understand why I said prepare for pixelation. Oh. Why do I keep thinking I need to switch to Tommy Harris here?
Striker. She's determined not to let the nerves show. Not after last time. On to Mr. Harris now. Tommy. Using his arm to pick up the ball.
What is move?
Not a bad shot there from Harris. Back to Striker. For shots number 3. All right. She's gone to sort of throw you under her legs. Not bad if you ask me. To Harris. Bit of business with the ref, but it got sorted out. Back to Harris now. A ball in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. Football. Move back. I'd say that's fair, but what do I know? Oh no, and Harris is not going to be happy with that. So really not a good start there for Tommy Harris in round 1. We can only hope that round 2 turns a bit better. But first, of course, after the argument with the ref section, it's time to change ends. Now we have the ceremonial changing of the ends.
So ceremonial.
And of course, now they go back to the starting positions, as that makes sense. Striker getting it large. Second round, Harris. Wins a round 2 now with Harris. Okay, you seem to have some sort of streak on the pitch.
Okay, yep, there they are.
Try and ignore all of that security. I'm sure we're going to take them out as soon as possible. Apologise if we broadcast any of that. As I said, we're going to get the situation resolved as soon as possible. They're trying to carry on play, but it's probably a bit difficult, and I'm struggling to follow because it's quite nice, and women's sports. Yeah. All right, great. Okay, so back to round 2 now.
We're back.
I was absolutely determined to close that massive gap. Steady Striker. No, it's just some of the tightest play I've seen ever. Harris. And was that a fitted thumb screw? We haven't seen that since the heats. What a brilliant move. Back to Striker. And we know what that means.
Ground sound.
Of course, the ground sound. Excellent bit of play here on both sides of the bucket. I don't know about you at home, but I'm finding the technical mastery on display here absolutely blooming jaw-dropping. The ref has spotted something in Harris's neck or head. And Harris is having an absolute shocker. What a miserable start there for Tommy Harris. But he is a late bloomer, of course, always said that. And after all, it is a game of 2 halves. 4 rounds and 7 subjects. But now, of course, it's time for the half-time show. Sponsored by Remington Smith. On my whistle. Must be some music here to start the half-time show.
Music. Okay, yep. There they are again.
Running around here with his genitals on display for all to see, and ruining what was shaping up to be quite the dancing salute there. Now he's thrusting himself in Harris's face. Security is on it, and he's been knocked back. I cannot stand it when the bucket gets knocked over. Hopefully he'll get taken out now.
Oh, this is unfathomably stressful. I'm just glad that the difficulty doesn't affect the naked protesters in this section.
We cannot be in the final pose. And a lovely finish there on both sides of the bucket. I wouldn't like to call that one. And as we head into round 3, I'd love to know what's going on in these 2 players' heads. But unfortunately, because of science, we can't.
Thanks, Captain Obvious, for saying that.
Not bad. Well, that ball boy's giving me the eye all the day. What's going on? Striker there, not a great start. She looks a bit flustered, I think, after all that swinging around. Back to Harris here. Got what I wouldn't give to
Harris.
Tommy Harris. And it dribbled down his arm, which is actually a really good move.
Right down his arm.
His arm goes on the floor. It's not going in the bucket. Back to Striker. Striker's gone for the animal bonus there, but of course, perhaps. And yes, Harris has counted with a tiny bell. That is wonderful play. Of course, we've seen that before. Look at her face. She is absolutely gutted. What a mug. That could have been the clincher. What a massive shame. Harris receives possession now. Harris to serve now. Harris, of course, undefeated
Striker. Oh, into the bucket. Oh no. Here they are. I'm not gonna let those brief hints of yellow trip me up. Or the foul language from Bannon. Please take them away. As this final round is going through, I do want to give a little bit of trivia regarding the naked protester sections that I found on the Not for Broadcast Wiki. The actors who played as the naked protesters have originally opted to have themselves completely naked on the game with no pixels, but due to legal reasons, their private parts actually had to be pixelized, even though I believe most of us know that they were wearing skin-colored clothing, but I'm still not going to risk this video getting taken down for sexual content. So sorry that I have to pixelate all of that.
And he's peeling it as if it were a banana, which is an interesting move. Not sure if he has any potassium or what's going on today with him. And he's throwing it at the banana with the ball! What a fantastic move there from Harris! Unfortunately, that is the end. What a pathetic... There we go, Jeremy, that is over. How can he look his 80-year-old son in the face tonight? What a lump! We just have to wait for the referee now to announce it to make sure it is all official. Contestants in, please. And the winner...
I know less cuts is more, but the audience doesn't seem to care here.
Sports Board Championship is...
Everyone!
Once again, a win for everyone, including me as my 15th win in the Sports Board Championship. I'm going to be celebrating tonight with my wife and children. Another wonderful victory for me. Here come the on-site security to collect their medals, their 6th and 7th respectively. And thanks again for watching.
Electrifying.
Championships. What more is there to say? I'm Patrick Bannon. Looking forward to celebrating tonight. And all I have to say, Jeremy, is back to you in the studio.
Patrick Bannon had an extraordinary final.
Historic.
Celebrate good times, come on!
To double with the best of them, I'll have you know.
I certainly wouldn't bet against you.
When we come back, I'll be talking live with Prime Ministers Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement, who apparently have a big announcement you wouldn't want to miss.
That's coming up after these messages.
1 minute back.
Fucking microphone shot me.
This is Crazy Neil's extra exciting bed and crazy cushion Easter extravaganza. We're going to give you crazy bed prices.
Giving my left hand some time to relax after holding the phone for so long. Of course.
This has got the crazy feel of an Easter Neil deal. We've got...
Oh, we got a segment grade of B. I will. Trust me. Had to do it.
I am delighted to be Julia Salisbury and Peter Clement. Welcome to the National Nightly News, Prime Minister.
Stop, please. It's just Julia and Peter.
We don't believe much in triangles. It doesn't seem very advanced.
We're delighted to be here.
Well, firstly, I should ask how you feel about the graffiti that's been springing up across the capital. Should we be worried?
Oh, no. No, you definitely shouldn't be worried.
Well, not unless you've got a fatal paint allergy anyway.
But yes, it does seem that there are still some people we haven't been able to help.
You know, whinges mostly. And
People who get to benefit from the many advantages of the new future.
And you know, Megan, as my old mum used to say, there are some pissouts who just don't know how to be happy.
We're working hard to reach these people, find out what they're angry about and how we can help. The door to my government is always open.
Sorry, tripping on me.
But we didn't come here to talk about what may yet turn out to be some alternative arts projects.
Which we no doubt will have funded.
When we want to talk to the nation about something far more exciting.
Yes, your office briefed us that you have an announcement to make, but they were being surprisingly secretive about it.
Let me ask you
Right.
a question, Megan.
Okay, it's not usually how it works, but...
What scares you? I mean, really scares you?
It's death. She's talking about death.
We're all afraid of our deaths. It's part of being human.
Sorry, are you saying that advance have cured death?
That'll be a long winner. Yep, that's definitely a drop there.
But while we may not have cured death, we hope we found a way to make it much less scary.
And much less painful and much less expensive. Which is me close-up camera
Oh,
there.
sorry, yes,
When I was 13, my mum came and got me from school years ago.
There's interference during this section.
He collapsed that morning, so we'd all to say our goodbyes. And I went in to see him. He were all frail and pale. I was scared because I'd only seen him the week before, and he'd been fit as fiddle. And he said to me,
Guess I gotta be careful for when these things get electrified too.
"It's the right time. I don't ever want to be a burden to the people I love."
Was that the last time you saw him?
Nope, 3 days later we were back home. He lived with us for 9 miserable years after that. He had to be fed with a rubber spoon. He had a commode, so he'd just take a shit right there in the lounge while we were watching.
Oy vey.
He wouldn't even wait till half time.
That sounds...
Oh, it was awful. Awful for us, and this is the point.
Must have made Peter's life a living hell.
For him. He could see it was destroying me, man, watching him slowly fade away. And he would beg her to turn off his breathing equipment at night, but she couldn't. Or she wouldn't. It were a crime, you see.
Yeah, because you'd kill him.
The children, as well as her old man.
No family should have to suffer like Peter's did. And now no family will have to. The health service is today opening the first of 300 new transition centres.
The transition centres will handle everything for your last days. The legal, financial, medical and emotional...
Ooh, fear.
For by the government. So, even the poorest citizen gets to pass on with dignity when they choose.
And that choice is important. This is a service only for people who choose it. For people who feel they run their course and don't want to burden themselves or their families with a slow, long, humiliating decline.
Okay.
Just giving me electric shock.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I think I'm from my asshole.
We're still on the air, Peter.
Yes, sorry. My apologies. Oh.
Are you not worried that this new system might be open to abuse?
In what way?
Sorry. I've got sacked again. Can I get a little bit of help here, please?
That the older generation might feel somewhat...
That one was massive. No, this bastard's coming off.
That the older generation might feel somewhat coerced.
Coerced into spending their final days eating gourmet food and drinking fine wine and luxury spas and gardens.
Look, I am perfectly capable of... with a rusty twat back.
Prime Minister, please watch your language.
Gosh.
Go get yourself sorted out.
Right.
Yeah, please do.
We're launching a government information film tonight. It should tell your viewers everything they need to know.
You really do move at a breathless pace. It's hard to believe you've yet to be an officer here.
Go, Megan. We're only getting started.
And on that note, thank you so much for being here. Jeremy.
Yes,
Had to.
that's all we have time for tonight. Thank yous go out to our guests. Congratulations.
Low battery. Go away, you.
And we'll see you tomorrow night at the same time. My name is Jeremy Donaldson. If you can, have a peaceful night.
And we're out. Good job, everybody.
So big.
Okay.
Watching this business anyway, this could be a
Blacking out now.
It's my nephew, so we transitioned the one.
I'm assuming that since I'm not playing any advance adverts or ads that were provided by Channel 1, my relationship's probably gonna go down since Bozeman tends to be leaning towards Advance's agenda. And yeah, Pleasure Corp, the shares that I've selected, and Advance and Disrupt have gone down. And Channel 1 hates my guts now. Well, I suppose that now would be a pretty good time to go ahead and charge my phone, since it's less than 20%. I have a little something to say regarding the next broadcast, the lockdown. There was an ending with Megan that I was going to show you there, but unfortunately, due to what has happened during a tight Christmas, which caused Suzie to not ask about the holiday trip, I think I don't know if you're gonna have to wait until the next run or whatever the heck happens. I mean, before this run even started, I'm starting to realize that I'm not going to be able to show you everything I want to show. Even more so now that I have witnessed what has happened during day 48 of this run. So I'm gonna take this time to process all that real quick. But until then, thank you everyone so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
I've been living in a paradise. It's awfully nice if you don't think twice. I'm